fast, stuffing them shits in the safe. Got me a spot out the way. Nigga just trying to be safe.
Let's get to the sports talk.
Do not lie, nor would you lie if you said that Jim Harbaugh is no longer an elite college football coach. I don't know where Michigan goes from here. A lot of fans are upset. They want him out. I'm not saying we should do that. Well, not me. Obviously, I would have gotten rid of him some time ago. But the bottom line is that Warren Manuel, the athletic director, probably ought to start coming up with a list and keep it in his right-hand drawer, because this is not going to get any better.
That's always the argument, though, Dan. Well, who's better than Jim Harbaugh? Like, what does the list look like?
How about the four people sitting here right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, this is a very delicate topic, right? Because it's someone's job, and I'm always trying to be human and kind of sensitive to that. But I've said this for about a year now. I don't understand why everyone believes Jim Harbaugh is a shoo-in to be okay. I mean, this is Michigan, and it may not be the Michigan of old, but I look at it, and we cover college football, right? And so we're all over it. Jimbo Fisher at A&M, Dabo Swinney at Clemson, Ryan Day at Ohio State, Nick Saban in Alabama,
Kirby Smart in Georgia.
Kirby at Georgia. Like, if you don't have guys that are doing what they're doing on a consistent basis, and you're a program that wants to be what those programs are,
always everyone having a problem with it since Jim Harbaugh been there. Since Jim Harbaugh been there. He can't beat Ohio State. He haven't got Michigan to the playoffs. Yes, he have a winning record, but everyone expects him to get them to the playoffs every year, like all them programs they just named. But he haven't. He been getting to his good bowl games. He ain't been getting to the playoffs. That's what they want. That's what they competing for. But they be inconsistent. They be up and down. Next minute they playing well. Next minute they on the loser streak. Like this year they still good, but they almost lost certain games. They been inconsistent this year. They barely escaped a lot of teams. That's the problem everybody having. Jim Harbaugh's a good coach, but they pay him a lot of money to get to the playoffs every year, just like all the coaches they just named. Like Kirby Smart from Georgia, Dabo Swinney from Clemson, Ryan Day go get Ohio State to the playoffs. Who else in that list? Nick Saban get his team to play every year. That's what they want out of Michigan. That's why they brought him there, to get them to the playoffs and compete for the national championship, but he haven't done it. He can have a winning record. People still hire him in the NFL because he's still a good coach. But in college right now, they paying him this money to get Michigan there. But he haven't. Like he just, only thing that's hanging over him, can he beat Ohio State? But the way his team's set up, they so inconsistent, I don't think they can. That's their kryptonite. That's the only thing that's holding him back over his head. He can't beat his rivals. They've been losing to him year after year after year he been there. And he still haven't got over them. And he still haven't got them to the playoffs to compete for a national championship consistently. He only get them to good bowl games.
then you can't look at your organization, your program, your boosters, your support and go, oh, I still believe in this guy. Because right now, Jim Harbaugh and Michigan don't stack up, hold a candle to those programs. They're not even in the same conversation to those programs.
See, but that's the thing, though, Dan, is that nobody has more top 300 recruits over the last 3 years than well, it's Kirby Smart and Nick Saban, but behind them is Harbaugh. So he's getting the talent, and a lot of people believe that's why Michigan wanted him, because he represents the brand well. So what does that tell you, right, about what he's doing as a coach, Swaggo, when he's got the talent in the building, but they're still not able to do anything?
Well, it all falls on the coaching. Like, look, the development of quarterbacks is what Jim Harbaugh was hired for. That was number one, to get Michigan to a point where they can offensively sustain and be one of these high-powered, prolific offenses that can compete. He has three things working against him. Number one, Ohio State. That's first and foremost. The second thing Jim Harbaugh has is offense has been fairly anemic. since he's been there, and that's what he was brought for. And then when he had the team that everybody perceived should beat Ohio State, they got drugged. So and now you're in this dilemma with name cachet, and he does have a 40 and 15 record. So it's like, what do we do with this guy that we paying all of this money to? That's why I said before the season, this was his litmus test. I don't think Jim Harbaugh going to be at Michigan after this year based on how this season is going.
Well, no, I mean, you talk about the brand. I mean, it's a great brand, Michigan brand, but, some dog food is good, but my dog won't eat it. I'm not serving it to him again. and nobody's eating Michigan football right now.
Yeah.
I mean, just like Lincoln Riley there, too. Like, if you're just a person who watches the team play, if you're a 17-year-old watching the teams play,
You don't want to go there.
Exactly. So, like, Michigan, everyone wants to say, they got an issue right now because
Jim needs to go back to the league. He didn't go back to the league.
He needs to go back to the
Straight
league.
up.
Somebody's going to want him
better in that arena. It's different. Just like when Nick Saban went to Miami, if Nick Saban doesn't have 100% total control, he's in a bad situation. That's Harbaugh. Harbaugh functions better in the NFL than he does in college. I don't care what anybody says.
Listen, Greeny, we've seen coaches fail at the college level and then get promotions to the NFL, so stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
And he's also had a lot of success in the NFL before. He took the 49ers to a Super Bowl.
Yes, like he always had success. It's just like what they said. His quarterback play haven't been good. He benched Shea Patterson for the backup quarterback. Then he got hurt. He had to bring him back in. He just haven't had success in college. He had success in the NFL. But I think he do better coaching at the higher level, study college. And he's going to wind up getting one of them jobs in the NFL because his rental record he had at Michigan and plus the success he had before he got there. That's why he going to get that job. But they going to bring him in, see can he develop whatever quarterback they have in the NFL.
Once upon a time. So very quickly, Jeremy Fowler, if indeed this does turn out to be Harbaugh's last year at Michigan, what are you hearing about the level of interest in the NFL in him?
Well, Green, NFL teams are not pining for Jim Harbaugh's graceful return right now. In fact, two guys that I think will have more buzz, Ohio State's Ryan Day, Oklahoma's Lincoln Riley. Those are two sought-after offensive minds in a new age NFL. Harbaugh's obviously a good coach. He'll probably have a job available to him in January, but this is not something that people are just anticipating right now.
Mike T, you came from the Dolphins. We all know the owner is a Michigan guy, and he loves Harbaugh, tried to hire him once before. Would that seem like a possibility?
I think Steve Ross is completely committed to Brian Flores and a long-term rebuild, so I don't anticipate a change. However, if he ever did make one down the road, Jim Harbaugh and what he's done with quarterbacks in the past, it does make sense for
Does Harbaugh still have cachet amongst NFL owners and general managers?
Absolutely. It's a supply and demand. I appreciate what Jeremy just said, but you look at, for example, Cliff Kingsbury. He was a USC offensive coordinator. Matt LaFleur had very limited experience. Freddie Kitchens was a running back coach. Jim Harbaugh took the San Francisco 49ers to the Super Bowl. I believe he would be get a head coaching job in the NFL if he left Michigan.